Greetings and salutations, all of my stamping friends, wherever you may be on this beautiful June 1st, 2026. And in honor of the beginning of summer, we are going to be doing a little summer stamping. We always love doing stamping. First Monday of the month here on Creative Juice by Lonnie. Every Monday, every first Monday of the month. Hopefully you'll find some fun things that you did not know today, some tips. I'd love to hear from you what you like, what you're currently stamping, what you need to create. If you're doing scrapbooking or card making, just come on over and chat with me. We are going to be making today. I'll show you one, and then we'll get started. Well, there we go. All right. This is a diagonal fold card that interlocks inside two nested images. Today I'm using the Everyday Arches dies, and you are welcome to craft along with me. I'll tell you what you need in case you want to grab them. At least make a template so that you can remember what it is and then make it later if you want to do that. So this interlocks inside this little double arch, and we're going to be making a couple of different variations of this. This one I made using the Waterside Retreat for Father's Day. I'll bring it up here a little closer. You can see when it opens, it's kind of this little piece interlocks in between the two pieces of the nesting shapes, and then you've got it placed right on the inside. Kind of a fun fold. So let's make it, and I'll show you some tips about how to create this. If you want to craft along, grab your paper trimmer. The Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer works fantastic for this because it can cut diagonally. And you'll need a piece of cardstock. Doesn't matter if you're just making a template. Doesn't matter what color you need. You'll also need two rather large nesting shapes. I am using the third and fourth largest nesting dies here of the Everyday Arches dies, but you can use any nesting dies. I'm going to show a different one here in a moment with our silly old bear, or the sweet words and labels rather, but I'll show you. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is score your paper at the longer way at 4 1/4. So we're going to do 4 1/4 right in the center like we were making a regular card, and then turn it and score it at 5 1/2. Okay, so you've scored both ways like you were going to cut this in half and make a card. And this actually does still make 2 cards. So congratulations, that you're going to make 2 cards out of 1 piece of cardstock. Let's take out our the scoring blade really quickly because we don't need that. We're going to cut it now in half. Luckily, if you take the scoring blade out, you can cut this right in half from the top to the bottom. So you're going to line up, let me see if I can show you, this point right here on the very top, tippy top, in the groove where the cutting blade is going, and then the point on the bottom. So if you've cut it correctly, if you've scored it correctly, it should intersect, and I'm looking at mine going, did I miss it somewhere? I don't know. Doesn't matter. And I'm actually going to turn it so that my bumps of my score, I remember to tell you, I was going to tell you that, and I'm so glad I remembered. So that my score, bumps of my score are facing up. Okay, so you do that. And we are going to cut it from the top to the bottom. Okay, here we go. Cut it diagonally from the top all the way to the bottom. Now, if you kind of miss one little end, oh, that did not look very good. It's okay. It's going to be fine. It's all good. If one of those don't cut all the way through, just use your scissors and you'll see a line, a faint line right here. So most of it cut. Okay. We're going to call that good enough today. Good enough. So then you will fold along the lines. And I'm wondering, did I you know what? We got to cut again, you guys. Never, have you ever made a mistake? Never, right? Apparently I did not, I must have scored it like 4.5 because it did not line up. Lucky for me, I have another piece of Peaceful Pine. This is one of our new in colors, gorgeous green that works with everything. So let's try this one more time. We got to score the right direction, and it certainly will make it better. Okay, let's try 4.25. Yeah, I think I did 4.5 last time, and 5.5. You know what? I'll bet that will work so much better. Taking my score blade out, flipping it over so my score lines are facing up, and I'm going to put the left corner at the top, the right top left corner at the top, the bottom right corner at the bottom. And that actually lines up so much better when you score it correctly. Imagine that. Okay. Pull that out. Got a little bit down here. Oh, somehow it bubbled. It's okay. That's okay. We got it all. It's going to be just fine because we're going to cover it up with some other stuff. It bubbled because of where I was cutting it. I know why. Okay, perfect. Much better. Much better. Now, when we fold this, we're going to do this and this. If you find that you want it to go the other direction, which I think I do, but I'm going to leave this one for my second card. You can just flip it over because I want it to go like this for this card. So I'm going to flip it over and just fold it along the score lines. Much better. So you can use a piece of 5" by 3 3/4 inch designer series paper, or I'm going to use for this card, because we're using the Fern and Flora, same size, 5" by 3 3/4 inches wide. This is the same color, could be a contrasting color, doesn't matter. I'm just doing the same color today. So Peaceful Pine. We're going to emboss it. Hello, Carlene, good to see you. I'm going to use this beautiful Fern and Flora die. This one, if you want the ferns to be up and down, you'll emboss your paper horizontally in the folder. If you want them to go sideways, you'll do it portrait. What's that called? Up and down? Up and down. Okay, we're going to put that right on top of our card and emboss this beautiful... Oh, before we do that, this is one of the tips I wanted to give to you. We actually want to cut that little cardstock in half before we do this, because if you were to emboss it and then try to cut it, it rips to shreds. So let's look at our card base that I just covered, and you can see that I want this to cut from this corner to this corner diagonally again. We want it to match the front of your card, so make sure you just kind of hold it on there and know which direction you are cutting. So cut that diagonally first, and then put it in our folder. That's one of the things I didn't want to forget to tell you. And they can be just kind of close to each other. They don't have to be, doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, ready to go. Always put the spine of your embossing folder into the machine first. We'll cover it with our gray plate number 4. So, as I said, you can use designer series paper instead of, I'm going to turn you a little bit, instead of embossing. But this embossing just gives a little bit of fun texture. So we want to use that to show you that today. All right, so we've got the 2 pieces ready to go. This Fern and Flora bundle. Okay, now there's the right one. I'm like, what? I just looked at that. All right, so you can see how this is just going to go on there perfectly. And I want this one on this side, this one on this side. Lovely. The bundle, as I was saying, has many little pieces and lots of tiny, some of these have little teeny tiny pieces, which I'm not a fan of. I prefer very large dies. but I've already done a lot of the cutting for you, so you don't have to watch me do all the busy work. You don't have to use fussy dyes, but this just turned out so beautiful when I was all done that I had to use it. Had to share it with you. So we've got I'm using liquid glue to put my embossed pieces on the front, on the both edges. Don't worry if you get a little bit of glue out there, it dries clear. Just wipe it off with your finger. You're ready to go. So here's this beautiful pattern. Our card opens like this. For the inside of the card, you can just take another piece of cardstock and stamp on it. Let's do that. I'm going to use the Peaceful Pine, these beautiful new magnetic ink pads, which are fabulous. They only come in the in colors this year. Next year, all of our Stampin' Up! Colors will come in these colors, will come in these ink pads. Okay, I'm going to stamp this off once because I want it to be kind of a light fern on the inside of my card. So in case I wanted to write over the top of that, it's not too dark. Then I have this pretty feather, and I'm going to use Secret Sea in an old ink pad, which I do love. I do love the foam on that one. Let's try the other side. There's always two sides to every piece of paper, so if you decide you don't like one, flip it over. Okay, I'm stamping off again. Give us a light fern on this side, and then I want this feather, but I want to be able to see it, so I may not stamp it quite so close. So yeah, that's better. So we have a little theme carried from the front of our card into the inside of the card. You can put whatever you would like to say on that. So let's make if you've got your piece cut from corner to corner, your two cards ready to go. Okay, then you've got your third and fourth largest dies. So I've done these out of Berry Burst, and what we're going to do first is do the largest die. We're going to glue it on the bottom half, and in this case we're only going to glue from here to here on behind this section. So I'm just going to hold it with my finger right here so that I know that that's as far as I'm going to go. I'm just going to add glue again, and I don't want to start in the middle. I want to do it just underneath that corner, because if I do it all the way to the corner, it could actually glue the top and the bottom section together, which we don't want to do. So I've got my glue, turn it over, center it on the front of your card, just like so. To make the locking mechanism, you need some dimensionals. We're going to use black dimensionals today. And I'm going to put that I'm going to put 4. One at the bottom, one at the corner down here. Oh, wait. I have to remember that the other one is a little bit smaller, so we don't want them to go all the way to the edge. Here we go. This piece is going to be a little bit smaller, so I'm bringing in my dimensionals so that they don't extend beyond the small die. Now I'm going to layer that right on top. I'm only putting those in in that same bottom left-hand corner. Layer your die on top, however you'd like it, so that you've got a double die, like this. Then see how this piece can just slide right between those two pieces, and it interlocks it flat. So the last thing we have to do is just do a little bit of embellishing. So I have a piece of the beautiful Midnight Flora Designer Series paper. I had that out, so as I was going to show it to you. It's just gorgeous. Really deep, rich tones of Peaceful Pine, Old Olive, Secret Sea, a little bit of this Berry Burst in some of these flowers on this design. I have already done a little cutting, as I said. This one is I put some adhesive sheet on the back of my vellum. So let's see if we can separate that now without ruining my, it wanted to come off the other day. There we go, take the adhesive sheet off the back. I did the adhesive sheet so that you won't see any of the adhesive when you're using vellum. So we'll put that on there. I stamped my greeting that says, "You are an amazing friend," and I have this fun swirly leaf, and I've put it on the back with some dimensionals. Hello from Connecticut, Carol. It's good to have some more stamping friends join us today on a happy June stamping day. So there we go. We'll add that. This little piece I've already cut and put all the little fussy pieces on. This little, I don't know what this is. I don't know what it is. It's a floral piece. Little piece of floral, also with dimensionals. We're going to tuck it behind. So we have a beautiful design right here. I also have my little moth that I stamped on a piece of Golden Glow, one of my favorite new in colors. We'll add our moth. And finally, we'll just add a few of these. I think these are called let me look. Dewdrops embellishments. We'll put some in the middle of our flowers, the small blue ones, and maybe a clear one down here just to give it a little bit of bling. So that is our first card finished. And you can just tuck that right between those two things. Thank you, Carol. Hello, Elaine. Happy to have you ladies with me. So that's just so easy, and it really does just slide right in there beautifully. Locks it all in place. There you go. So there's our first card. We'll put that over here on the side for just a moment, and let's do this other card. Now you'll notice that this card opens this way, and this card is going to open this way because we're actually going to turn it landscape, which was my intent. It was totally my intent. Yes, actually, I really did want it to be that way because I want, when I'm doing it this landscape version, I want it to close the same way with this triangle piece on the top on the right. Just makes it easy. So this time we're going to use our, this is the Sweet Words and Labels bundle that, yes, the Sweet Words and Label bundle. It's part of the Silly Old Bear Suite, which is the cute online exclusive Winnie the Pooh set. So you've got little Winnie the Pooh paper that is just adorable, just darling. Here he is with Piglet. All sorts of cute patterns. This is one of the stamps because it's a mega suite. Here's the other set of stamps. We're not going to use these stamps because I'm going to use some of the printed patterns on the paper today. And the Sweet Words and Labels just happen to have cut them perfectly. So here's little Pooh and Piglet sitting in the chair. And then I've cut a frame around. So this is from the Designer Series paper. This is from the dies. And then there's another die that's even larger. And I thought, aha, we could do the same thing with this bundle. So let's try it out. Although I just realized as I'm looking at that I have cut my paper the wrong direction because it's going to be landscape. Lonnie, you knew that when you cut this paper, but you still did not think it through. Let's do it this other way. What color is that? That is give me a moment. Please pause while I get myself together, my act together. Here we go. So we need a 5-inch by 3 3/4 inch. Yeah, that looks good. 3 3/4, if we get it to the right spot. 3 3/4 by a 5-inch. I like that paper. Then we're going to cut it diagonally, just like our card. So looking at our card, we need to cut it from here to here. Make sure we do it the right direction. so that it layers on top nicely. This one's even more simple. I'm going to use my seal to make this one fast and easy. And I wanted to use this designer series paper because the greeting that I'm going to use goes along with looking for something. And when you're looking for something, you're following a map, right? Perhaps. So there we go. There's our map on the front of our card. Here's our large piece that we're going to use as the back piece. So we're going to glue it from here to here. Let's see if I can do it with my adhesive. I should do it so that you can kind of see how I'm, well, you can't really see that, but I know that it's going to go right here. So I only put adhesive underneath this half. Needs to move over a bit. Hurry before it gets stuck down. We're going to move it just a smidge, as Winnie the Pooh would say. Okay, nice. Then we'll put on our dimensionals. Look, I can just use this edge right along here, here, and here. Used up a whole sheet. It's smiling at you. Oh, thanks, Carly. And I'm glad that you like this fold. It is a fun fold. And Carol says that she loves this card. Okay, so we're going to put that right on top. Layer it right on top. So these can just fold right in through that locking mechanism. Isn't that fun? I love it. Okay, so we're going to move on to the inside because I said that we have a sentiment that matches this. So I think for this one, I'm going to use the peaceful. Nope, I'm going to use this. What color is that? That is, excuse me, cherry cobbler. Should have had that out. We're going to make a cherry cobbler frame on the inside, just for fun, because we can, because it comes in the set and I wanted to use it. I'm going to stamp it off again so it's not really dark. Needs to be a little darker. Let's get it all inked up. There we go. Okay, I'm going to stamp it right here for the inside of my card. And then this sentiment will stamp in Peaceful Pine. And it says, sometimes when you go looking for happiness, happiness finds you. And usually that's with a friend. That's why I liked this little one with Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Move my ink pads out of the way, or I will open up my card right into that ink pad. And you could add a little more Winnie the Pooh if you wanted to. A lot of the dies from the Silly Old Bear, the Sweet Old Friends dies, cut out many of the patterns on the paper that is included in here. So you could use that if you wanted to add a little more on the inside. But look how cute, didn't that turn out just adorable? It turned out as cute as I knew it was going to. Of course. So there are the two that we made today. This one that is featuring the Waterside Retreat stamp set and designer series paper. This is actually one that I made for the swap for my team a couple of months ago when we did a new catalog swap. And I was like, let's need to share this one with everybody. We still have our Reason to Celebrate stamp set, but I think the seasonal celebrations may be gone. So, hello, Inika. How good to see you from the other side of the world, on the other side of the planet. So that is our cute little interlocking card for the day that you can just slide your top in between your two arches or any kind of interlocking shape, so or layering, nesting shape, then you can just slide that right through and it locks flat, locks shut. Doesn't really lock shut. They can still open it, right? But there you go. So I saw that Carlene says she loves the Pooh Bear card. This is her one thing that she likes that is cute, apparently. The cute little Pooh Bear. You could add a sentiment on the front, but I almost liked it better just on the inside. Sometimes when you go looking for happiness, happiness finds you. All right, is that something you're going to try? I hope you try it because it really is easy and fun. You're just going to build your little scene on the front panel however you want. It could be with designer series paper. It could be with stamped images. It could be a little blending. So you've got a lot of options here with this cool card design. We will be back in July, again on the first Monday to do more stamping. Sorry, somebody must be thinking of me. My nose and my eye is itching at the same time. All of these supplies can be found here on CreativeJuiceByLonnie.com, and I appreciate you, if you are one of my customers, purchasing from that website. That helps me to have the time and resources to come back and share ideas with you. Thank you. I'm so glad. Thank you, Emily and Inika, too, for your kind words. They are fun cards, and I hope you give it a try. And go ahead and go shopping. Get your own, whichever supplies you need to make your favorite card. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me today. See you in July. See you then.